with these strong energies that we are moving through, it's offering you a way to surrender to a new way of being, to turn pain into power, and to release what is no longer serving you. And more importantly, to make room for what is to come. Because if we are to create something for ourselves, for our desires, for our goals, whether that's better health, better financial situation, a more meaningful relationship with yourself or with others, a problem being solved for you, then we have to show up in a way that we haven't before. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the power of surrender and trust, and to transmute that pain that you've been feeling, because one minute it can feel like, yes, it's all good, and the next be weighed down with heavy emotions, burdened, feeling lost, confused, low, and wondering why. And this is what many of us are going through. And when moving through something like this, it can feel like it's all falling apart. But what I want you to believe and know, that it's not you that's falling apart, it's the energy of it. And what remains after is a more lighter, more wiser, more empowered and vibrant version of you. And bear in mind that when moving through something like this, we can often say to ourselves, well, you know what, I'm just going to wait for all of this to settle, all of these energies to settle, and then I'll be okay. But instead, I want you to use this opportunity to move through this consciously and to release whatever is coming up, because energy is forever changing, right? And it is the idea of moving from one conscious level of thinking to another. And this is why sometimes it can be difficult moving through something like this, because change, growing and adapting can be difficult and can often cause us to feel stuck. But know that this is a purification process, and in order for the new to begin properly, consciousness needs to experience itself. It needs to fully awaken, and fully awaken at its fundamental level, because we're all one consciousness. And I've said this before, but it is a big year of quantum leaps in our consciousness. So the journey will be challenging, to say the least. But it's also a big year of massive shifts and massive manifestations. So when moving through something like this, it's important to keep that in the back of your mind and know that, you know what, it's going to be okay at the end. And again, we will experience this differently personally and on a global level. And know that that stuck energy, that old programming, the old habits, patterns, living on autopilot, all that stuck energy is being brought to your awareness by your higher self so that it can be released and healed. So it's not there, because life is against you or anything like that, but instead it's an opportunity for you to transmute all of that and to step into your power. It's about consciously releasing whatever is coming up for you. And this could be, for example, fear, anger, pain, past memories, whatever is coming up for you. Know that it needs to be experienced and consciously released. This is you releasing whatever's been buried, suppressed in your subconscious mind, letting go of the attachment to the old, in particular that emotional attachment, in order for the new to enter into your life. So this is a path of ascension and growing, because ascension is about shedding the old, raising your vibration and shifting to an elevated level of consciousness. And ultimately this will lead you to the path of surrender and trust, with the knowing that it's all going to be okay and what's meant for you will come. Now, surrendering is not you giving up. Instead, it's you trusting the natural rhythm, the natural momentum of the path of least resistance. And here, the power of awareness is your strength. It's your gift, because when you are aware, you can do something about it. Instead of trying to, resort back to the old way of thinking, those old patterns, the old programming, the old behavior that keeps you stuck, or instead of trying to force or control a situation so that you can feel a certain way. Because when you're doing this and you're in that state, your energy, your vibration is different, and you'll be met with more of the same, because that's the electromagnetic signal that you're putting out there into the quantum field, and you will then attract back like for like. And even though part of you knows that being in that familiar reality, the old programming, repeating the same patterns, whatever that may be, even though part of you knows that it's toxic, but, for some of you, it may feel safe being in that familiar reality, because it's familiar to you. So so you can predict what's going to happen. But even though it's toxic, what sometimes can happen is that it prevents you from stepping outside of the comfort zone, because stepping outside there, it's the unknown. That's where the uncertainty is. But know that that's where doors of opportunity is available for you, where there are infinite possibilities. But on the other hand, for some of you, it may seem like a lot of work, stepping outside of the comfort zone, even though you know that, being in that familiar reality is toxic. But stepping out there into the unknown, it's scary and it requires a lot of work. But here, I want you to use this opportunity to get really honest with yourself and to become aware of what is going on, what emotions are coming up. Acknowledge whatever is coming up. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? Am I really afraid of losing the known? Or am I afraid of stepping into the unknown? And if I step into the unknown, well, what can happen? Define it with a different meaning, change the energy of it, and become, get really honest with yourself. Because when you become aware of that, when you become aware of what is really going on, what's stopping you from stepping into the unknown, from surrendering and trusting the universe, trusting that there's a different path for you, because there are infinite parallel realities that you can tap into by shifting your energy and your vibration, by working on yourself, by releasing what needs to be released. Because when you become aware of that, you shift your energy, and that's when shift really happens. That's when you really shift. For example, I lived most of my life in survival and in a fight or flight state, and that's because I unknowingly carried my childhood trauma, the emotional abuse, the abandonment issues that I had with me, even though I thought I dealt with it, but I unknowingly carried it around with me. And my mind created this program in order to keep me safe and secure, so that in a way became my familiar known reality. And even though I was living in that daily, I was never really happy inside. Inside, I was never really happy. I hardly used to smile or anything like that. But that was my norm, and it was predictable, and it was my known reality. And I lived most of my life in survival. And, my mind created that autopilot system for me in order for me to survive, in order for me to carry on. But really, I was never really alive inside. But eventually, when I was able to shift that energy and transform, and you will be able to as well, when you shift from survival to living in creation, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities, and your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit starts working together coherently. And that's when you'll then allow yourself to step into the unknown with an open heart, and you'll be able to shift that energy and transform from within. So right now, life is offering you a way to build a new approach based on surrender, acceptance, and inner truth, and to tap into that courageous energy and to trust the journey you are on, because it does take a lot of courageous energy, not only to trust the journey that you're on, but also to start listening to that inner wisdom, that inner guidance that is coming through, and to then take that next step, stepping outside of your comfort zone, outside of the known. But know that the sooner you create space for what's meant to be, it will not pass you by. The sooner you shift your vibration, your emotional state begins to shift, and you will receive the clarity, that guidance that you are searching for from the universe. With that said, I want you to take comfort in knowing that it is a journey, and although your conscious self may know better, it often takes time for other aspects of your psyche to catch up. So during this process, whenever you go through this, be a little bit more self-compassionate with yourself, and don't beat yourself up for exhibiting old ways. So now let's take a look at the paradox of what happens when you surrender and trust, and why it's so powerful, and why it can help you to completely shift your life. So when you surrender, you hand over your power over to your higher self. When you trust, you are giving that trust over to the universe to work for you and in your favor. When you surrender every attachment to a particular outcome, the judgment that you hold about things going a certain way, the emotional reaction, the pain and numbness. And instead you hold the belief, and you move forward with trust and surrender that there is a possibility of something better happening to you and for you. So when you trust and you surrender, you integrate, you stop looking outside of you, and you open yourself up to infinite parallel realities. And again, know that these intense energies that we're moving through is offering you a new life cycle, and we're all moving through this. And again, we will all experience this differently depending on where we are on our timeline. And again, this will all be governed by the choices and the decisions that you make moving forward. I'm not sure if you can hear the noise, but that is my neighbour. They're having some work done on the house. So if you can hear that, I do apologise. But instead, I want you to use this opportunity to turn that pain into power, to tap into your strength, to be courageous. And if your higher self is showing you a way to let go of that stuck energy, that heavy burden that you've been carrying all this time, that emotional pain that you've been holding on to, if your higher self is showing you a way for you to heal, release, and let go of that stuck energy, then take the opportunity. Don't let fear or doubt to hold you back. Now is the time to surrender and trust and to let go of what is no longer serving you or your higher purpose. Now, before I move on, let me just say that if you want to understand the known versus the unknown a little bit more and how that all ties in with the law of manifestation, then check out this video here, and I'll also tag it in the descriptions down below for you to have a look at later. So when you say you trust and you surrender, this is you getting out of your own way. And this is you telling yourself that you have faith in yourself and in the universe. And this flexibility in your way of thinking allows the universe to work its magic in unexpected ways. And once you decide what you want for yourself, that you want better for yourself, the universe, the entire universe, starts to shift in your favor. So in a way, you've got to meet the universe halfway by surrendering and trusting into the unknown. And know that whatever is coming up, have the understanding that it's there for a reason. It's been brought to your awareness for a reason, for you to experience and move through that consciously. Because it's not just going to go away by itself, but have the knowing and trust and belief that your higher self is supporting and guiding you, that the universe is supporting you. Remind yourself that your entire life can change in a year, even in 6 months for that matter. You just got to love yourself enough to know that you deserve more and to not let fear hold your strength, your capabilities, your courage, your worth back. And I just want to remind you that it's a big year of massive shifts, of revolution. So remind yourself that you are the co-creator of your own life. And by doing so, you create space for new positive energy to flow into your life, enhancing your abilities to manifest and cultivate new ideas, new beliefs, new intentions, and an attitude of gratitude for where you are in your life right now and where you want to go and what's yet to come. And even if you can't see it yet, your job here is to flow with life, allowing the river to carry you to where you want to go, knowing and trusting that your higher self is guiding and showing you the path. And it really is a delicate balance between trusting the universe and taking inspired action, trusting that the universe will work its magic for you and in your favor. So, really allow yourself to trust the process, trust the journey that you are on, trust that this is a human experience that you came in to have. And now it's time for you to grow spiritually, become consciously aware of what is going on around you, what is going on within you, your emotional guidance system. What is it telling you? What do you need to release and let go? Trust the process that you will be guided and you'll be shown the path for your highest good. Once you surrender, you will notice your energy change. You remember who you are. Miracles start to happen. A portal of healing energy gets unlocked as you honor the pain, that heaviness that you've been carrying, and use it to guide you to a brighter future. So surrender and trust, as it's the heart of all spiritual paths, and from the point of view that you can consciously create your own life with the decisions and the choices and the beliefs that you hold. And when your higher self is talking through you, surrender and learn to listen, because all the answers that you require are within you. But if you do struggle to connect with your higher self, releasing trauma, emotional pain, energetical blocks, then be sure to check out Higher Self Quantum Healing, through which you can experience profound healing, empowerment, release emotional pain and energetical blocks across different timelines, and get the clarity that you've been searching for. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Much love. Namaste.